This week, something happened that I think investors noticed immediately. Out of 17 American CEOs that traveled to China, only two reportedly got seats on Air Force One alongside President Trump. Elon Musk of Tesla and Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. And honestly, I can't help but wonder what that entire experience must have felt like for all of them. Just imagine for a moment a nearly 20-hour geopolitical trip, Air Force One, President of the United States, no matter who it is, you're with the president. That's amazing. And two of the most important figures in artificial intelligence and technology sitting nearby. You know, what did they talk about? What did they eat? Who sat with who? You know, did Trump leave the two of them alone and they could sit and talk and catch up and they had hours to sit and contemplate the future and what do they think and what are they working on and everything, There has to be a ton of respect between Musk and Jensen Huang, a ton of respect, and Trump too. And it's a once in a lifetime trip. It's not going to happen again the way it's all set up. 17 of them. And the two of them are really, they're special because they're on board with the president. The 15 other ones are flying, they're getting their private jets and they're getting to Beijing their own way. So, and what's that like once they arrive? The two of them and the president, maybe the president takes off. He's got to go get ready for all these things. And that leaves Musk and Jensen Huang, on their own. Then they meet with the other CEOs and presidents, and then all of them talk. Just to be a fly on the wall in that room, just to be with them. They've got, these are the leaders, movers, and shakers of our world. And all of them are at the pinnacle, the peak of their own personal success in life and vibrant and leading the way. And there's so much to discuss. AI, chip restrictions, China itself, Tesla factories, China coming to the U.S. to start factories here. Tesla factories everywhere, supply chains, the future of robotics, autonomous driving, AI infrastructure worldwide. We don't know the specifics. Maybe somebody eventually will, let the cat out of the bag. We don't know right now, but it's fascinating. Fascinating. Books should be written about this trip and what's happening and what's going to happen and what they end up with. The neat thing is markets react to symbols, and symbolically, this was really powerful. Investors see things like this and immediately start thinking, these are the important companies. These are the insiders. These are the strategic players. These are the companies closest to power. And whether that's fair or not fair, it's the perception is what's fascinating, And honestly, I also wonder what the atmosphere was like once they landed in Beijing. What was that like? To be not only over there, but to have this whole group of, everybody together. It's kind of like a sixth grade field trip on steroids. Imagine the other CEOs arriving separately, then suddenly they see Musk and Jensen Huang step off Air Force One beside the president. That sends a signal. If they didn't see that specifically, they'll see the images, they'll see the photos. And the thing too is how much of that how much of that did Trump himself plan? Like Trump chose who's going to be with him and who's not. And so how much of and then he knows he's going to be recorded when he gets on the tarmac, he lands, and how much how much of that was chosen by Trump. It creates what my point is. I know he's already over there, but it creates hierarchy among the companies. It says these companies are the ones that matter. Tesla's the future, and NVIDIA is going to be supplying all the chips for the future, or most of them. Investors are extremely sensitive to perceived importance, especially in markets that are driven by future narrative about the future. Because right now, AI it's not just a technology story anymore. It's geopolitical, it's strategic, it's economic, it's military and defense, it's infrastructure. And companies like NVIDIA and Tesla, they sit right in the middle of that future projection. They're right in the heart of it. And Trump must have been saying that. I mean, he knows without saying a word the power of photographs. What do they say? There's 1,000 words in every picture. More than that. Photos are powerful. You got NVIDIA tied to AI compute power, Tesla tied to robotics, autonomy, batteries, AI training, manufacturing, China itself. And how did China receive all this also? Because that's a big step. Because here comes Trump with 17 of these top people, and they're making only extra effort counts. They're coming to China. They're not inviting China here. They're going to China. They're saying, look, which means they can control a lot of it too. I'm going to control who I bring and who I don't bring. That's huge. And Z has to see this. He has to, okay, here comes Trump, but not by himself. He's bringing these top business people too. This is good for my country, Z must be thinking, but I need to do it correctly. This has to be done correctly. We can't mess this up. So again, when investors see these kinds of images, they see CEOs positioned physically close to presidential power. They notice. And markets often respond emotionally to proximity to power. It's not just earnings, it's not just numbers, it's not just revenue, fundamentals, it's proximity, access, influence, status. That drives the market because all that is emotional. The numbers are just numbers. It's just black and white. It's just figures on paper. But when you see these images, that strikes certain chords in the human psyche and in human emotion. That's what makes it big, So can you imagine being on board that aircraft? Unbelievable. I mean, once in a lifetime. The conversations, the tension, the strategic discussions, right? Trump pulling them together and just the three of them and going, look, this is how things are going to play out. This is how it's going to be. Here's an itinerary of what's going to be happening. Yeah, but I need you here, but I don't need you here. You're not going to come to this one, but you're going to come to this one, like that. And they're going to be having dinners, lunches, teas, breakfasts. They're going to be having everything, meals together, etiquette, power play, conversation. What do they talk about? What do they not talk about? It's huge. Unbelievable. They're talking strategy. once in a lifetime environment all the way through. And us investors watching from the outside, we naturally start to wonder, well, what does this mean for NVIDIA? What does this mean for Tesla? What signals are being sent here? And if those two from the Mag 7 and Palantir and all the big names, Taiwan Semi, if they are there also, but it's just amazing. It's just amazing. This is not just some random fly-by-night thing. This doesn't happen every day of the week. This is huge, huge. So I know that a lot of this might just be like the excitement, and it's fantastic that the U.S. and China are speaking. It's fantastic. We need that. We really do need it. The whole world needs it. Like, let's communicate. Like, you're on that end of the world and you have a completely different way of living, lifestyle, custom, language. You're completely different. You're opposite from us. And we're way over here in the West. You're way over in the East. But we come together and we break bread and we speak, we communicate. That's very important. Relations are extremely important. One president needs to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, look, this is what's happening. Can I'm calling to let you know in advance, or I'm calling just as a sounding board. Whatever it is, I'm just saying it's very important. It's vital that human beings communicate, that they talk, that they at least try to get along, Okay, here they're going for business. They're going to open it up. Trump needs things from Z, and Z needs things from Trump too. China doesn't want to get stuck, with nothing. They need to grow also. So again, this is fascinating. And the future of AI is involved. All of our futures is involved. These men right now are deciding it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. If you're interested in the psychological side of markets, investing, emotion, and crowd behavior, you can also visit my website at jackcarterbooks.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.